Hey Botanical Bliss family, welcome back to another episode of Plant Talk. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can join us on this journey of plant care and gardening tips. Today, we're diving into succulent care, one of the most popular and beginner-friendly ways to grow plants at home. Succulents are the perfect option for anyone looking to add greenery to their space without a ton of hassle. And I'm going to give you some simple tips that will help you keep your succulents happy, healthy, and thriving. Whether you're a first-time succulent parent or looking to improve your skills, this guide is for you. So, let's get started and turn you into a succulent pro. Before we even get into care tips, it's important to choose the right succulents for your home and experience level. Some succulents are easier to care for than others, and as a beginner, you'll want to pick varieties that are hardy and forgiving. Here are a few great options to start with. Aloe vera. Known for its medicinal properties, aloe vera is not only easy to grow, but it also has a wide variety of uses. It's perfect for beginners because it's very low maintenance and tolerates a range of conditions. Jade plant, Crassula ovata. Jade is a popular succulent that's also great for beginners. It's easy to grow in pots and loves indirect sunlight. Echeveria. Echeveria comes in a variety of shapes and colors, and it's very tolerant when it comes to watering and light conditions. Pothos. Though not technically a succulent, pothos can survive in the same conditions as succulents and are incredibly low maintenance. Sedum, stonecrop. Sedum varieties are excellent for beginners because they thrive on neglect. They're hardy, don't require much attention, and grow quickly. So when choosing succulents, make sure to opt for varieties that are tolerant to drought and can handle a little bit of neglect. This is key for beginners, especially if you're still learning the ropes of plant care. One of the most important factors in succulent care is light. Succulents are native to sunny, dry climates, think deserts, so they need lots of bright, indirect light to grow healthy and strong. Here's how to make sure your succulents get the right amount of light. Bright, indirect light. Place your succulents near a window where they'll get plenty of sunlight but without being exposed to the harsh afternoon sun that can scorch their leaves. A south or west-facing window is ideal for most succulents. Direct sunlight. Some succulents like aloe vera or agave can tolerate direct sunlight. However, be careful with too much direct sun if you live in a very hot area, as it can lead to sunburn on the leaves. Artificial light. If you don't have access to a sunny window, you can also grow succulents under grow lights. These are specially designed lights that provide the correct spectrum of light for plant growth. If your succulent is getting too much or too little light, you might notice it becoming leggy, long, thin stems, or its colors might fade or change. A lack of sunlight can lead to poor growth, so be sure to find a good spot for them. Overwatering is one of the most common mistakes beginner succulent gardeners make. Remember, succulents are desert plants, so they store water in their leaves and stems. This means they don't need to be watered frequently, and they can actually rot if they sit in waterlogged soil. Here's how to water them the right way. Wait for the soil to dry out. Only water your succulent when the top 1 to 2 inches of soil are completely dry. Stick your finger in the soil to check. It should feel dry to the touch before you water again. Water deeply. When you do water, make sure you water deeply until water flows out of the drainage holes. This ensures that the roots are getting hydrated. Drainage is key. Always use a pot with drainage holes to ensure the water doesn't pool at the bottom, which could cause root rot. If your pot doesn't have drainage, you can still grow succulents in it, but you'll need to be extra cautious with watering and make sure the soil doesn't stay too moist. Winter watering. Succulents are much less active in the winter, so they don't need as much water during this time. In the colder months, you can water even less frequently. Signs that you're overwatering your succulent include yellowing leaves, soft, mushy spots, or a rotting smell. If you catch it early, you can let the plant dry out and stop watering until the soil is completely dry. Succulents don't like to sit in wet soil for too long, so it's essential to use well-draining soil. Regular potting soil can hold on to too much moisture, so be sure to either buy a cactus mix or make your own by adding sand or perlite to your soil to increase drainage. You can buy ready-made succulent or cactus soil mix at most garden centers. This mix is specifically designed to dry out quickly and avoid moisture retention. If you want to make your own soil mix, you can combine 2 parts potting soil, 1 part sand and 1 part perlite to ensure great drainage and aeration for your succulents. This is especially important for container gardening where succulents are more susceptible to root rot due to the confined space. Make sure your pots have drainage holes to allow excess water to escape. Succulents thrive in warm and dry conditions, which is why they do so well in homes that have average room temperatures. Here are a few things to keep in mind when it comes to temperature and humidity. Succulents generally prefer temperatures between 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, or 15 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. Avoid placing them in drafty areas, or where temperatures drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, or 10 degrees Celsius, as they can become stressed and even die in colder temperatures. Succulents don't like high humidity. They prefer the dry air of deserts, so make sure they're not placed in bathrooms or kitchens where the air tends to be moist. If your air is naturally humid, consider using a dehumidifier or keeping your succulents away from moisture-heavy areas. If you live in a very hot, dry climate, succulents can do great outside, but they may need some shade in the hottest parts of the day to prevent sunburn. Succulents don't require much feeding, but a little bit of fertilizer can help them grow healthier. Use a diluted liquid fertilizer that's designed for succulents or cacti. You don't need to fertilize very often. Once a month during the growing season, which is spring and summer, is plenty. In the winter, when succulents go dormant, stop fertilizing completely. Over-fertilizing can lead to leggy growth and poor overall plant health, so it's best to err on the side of caution. Remember, less is more with succulents. Succulents tend to grow slowly, but eventually they'll outgrow their pots. Here's when and how to repot. If you notice your succulent has become root-bound, meaning its roots are coming out of the drainage holes or the plant is growing tall and leggy, it's time to repot. It's best to do this in the spring or summer, during their growing season. Choose a pot that's 1 to 2 inches larger than the current one. Carefully remove the plant from its old pot, shake off the old soil, and place it in the new pot with fresh, well-draining soil. Be sure to leave the base of the plant at the same level as it was before, and don't bury it too deep. Leggy growth. This means your succulent isn't getting enough light. Move it to a sunnier spot and prune any leggy stems. Yellowing leaves. This can be a sign of overwatering or poor drainage. Let the soil dry out before watering again. Brown tips. This could be a sign of too much sun or underwatering. Make sure your succulent is getting the right amount of light and water. There you have it. Succulents are low-maintenance, forgiving plants that make perfect additions to any home, and with these tips, you'll be able to keep them happy and thriving. Whether you're starting with one small plant or creating a whole succulent garden, these tips will ensure your journey with succulents is a success. If you loved this guide, make sure to subscribe for more plant care tips, DIY projects, and gardening inspiration. Until next time, happy gardening.